Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeso. Okay, now. I think I may explain this way. Every sentient being, particularly we human being, everyone want happy life. And you see, no one, you see, want a problem. The ultimate source of problem is a destructive emotion, such as anger, jealousy. These, as I mentioned yesterday, is related with self-centered attitude, and also sort of believe things exist objectively, independent, like that. So therefore, now on this planet, among 7 billion human beings, I think we can divide three groups. One group that is, I think, majority, not much pay attention about our inner value. Then another group may not be big group, but is considered religion is harmful, not good. That's one group. So something like anti-religion. Then third group accept religion, the value of religion. So now these three groups, everyone have right to achieve happy life. But now if we look, examine, I think the group who believe religion, that generally speaking, you see, accept some deeper level of value. So when we passing through difficult, so still there is a basis of hope. Although I really passing through difficult, tremendous difficulties, but still in deep inside some hope, or God, or some other thing. So therefore, now among the, I think the religious sort of believer, when they really passing through difficult, desperate situation, I think the religious believer, I think some sort of what's the benefit. Now among the religious believer, say on this planet, I think we can say two groups. One believe God, Creator. That's, I think, including some Indian tradition, you see, believe there is Creator like that. Then another group, non-theistic. I think yesterday also I mentioned the Jainism and one part of Sankhyaism and Buddhism, these three, the life, no beginning. Therefore, you see, there no concept of creator. So within these three groups, say two Sankhya philosophy and Jain philosophy, they accept the concept of independent self beside this body, mind. It is something permanent. That's the basis of our sort of rebirth, previous life to this life, next life. Body, mind, only one life. So the independent self, always go like that way. Then Buddhism say no such independent, permanent self. So the things are interdependent. And then within Buddhism, I think generally the Buddha Dharma, Buddhism, the whole Buddha's teaching based on the concept of true truth. That means, you see, we should not
Satisfied.
말이지.
So we should not be satisfied with the appearance of things. You should go deeper into the nature, the final nature of things.
So we usually call true truth. So roughly speaking, one conventional truth, mainly, you see, based on appearances. Then,
Ultimate truth.
or ultimate truth, deeper level. So now, the explanation about the very nature of things within Buddhism, as briefly yesterday also mentioned, is a four major different school of thought. Then I think I can say most scientific scientific way of explanation is Madhyamika philosophy. Nothing exists as appears. Everything interdependent. So, Master Nagarjuna mentioned Sanjay Namji Chotemba Temanyala Yanda, then Jitan Kuzu Temba, Tabetan Tebos.
Master Nagarjuna said the Buddhas gave teaching based on the true truths, which are the conventional, the worldly conventional truth, and the ultimate truth.
So, now all major world tradition, when we explain that religion, I think it is very important to explain the philosophical view, the fundamental sort of reality or nature. That's, I think, important. So therefore, in Indian tradition, like an Indian tradition, general and particularly Buddhist tradition, is the true truth. As I mentioned earlier, it's a thing, according to Madhyamika philosophy, nothing exists as appears. Now Nagarjuna, I think yesterday also I briefly mentioned, is Nagarjuna, Ongel Tiluki. Or Nagarjuna, you see, I think as I mentioned yesterday already, the Leda Yumo Namdo Teta Jolesta, Nella Tarba said Kareslavna, Leda Yumo said Tarse. Da Ona Less at the Kariungore, Numong Chigores, Numong said the Consumore, Leda Yumo Namdoles, Chumijig Namdole Yungioris, Chumijig Namdo the Consumore, Teta Jolles, Java said the Tenzing Java Sivere, Teta Jole. Jabani, Tomojiga Wanjurus. Zashu Disonare. Then almost given Alia, Lulu Luan, Chishin to Timukun and Naju, Tishinum, Tamji, Timucham, Jambacurus. Gush.
And so, with regard to the question, what is liberation on moksha? Master Nagarjuna says that liberation is that state where you have eliminated all karmas and negative emotions. And then he further says that the karmas arise through our negative emotions. And then these two, karma and the negative emotions, they arise through some kind of a conceptual construct, inappropriate rumination. And then this can, in turn, is rooted in this the misconception, which actually conceives things to have some kind of independent existence. And this misconceiving ignorance can be done away with, the wisdom realizing emptiness. And then the Master Aryadeva, his student, in his 400 verses says that just as the physical faculty, permeates the whole of the other faculties, likewise the fundamental ignorance permeates all negative emotions. And therefore, overcoming this fundamental ignorance, you'll be able to overcome all the negative emotions.
Oh, yeah. Donna, any Timuk, countries never saw us, Lama. Any tension driven Junga, Tono Timun Jungus. Tishin Beba, Gunjin did, Dam the Tomon never chas.
And how do we get rid of this fundamental ignorance, the misconception of reality? Again, Master Aryadeva says in the 400 verses, when you are able to see the nature of interdependent nature of things, and that will get rid of this ignorance, and therefore this should be proclaimed. I mean, first of all, when you explain the teaching.
So then Aryadeva also mentioned Sanji Jisung Gokyu Kangshi Tesum Genyo, Tei Dongwa Ni Dende, Dinikona Yijijas.
And so Aryadeva again says in the 400 verses, when you have doubt about the hidden meaning of the teaching, the phenomena, the obscure meaning of phenomena, then when you doubt about that, what you should do is you should introduce to those people who have such doubt the teaching of emptiness. And therefore, through this, you should have this confidence, gain the confidence.
Now, I think, according to my own experience, see, when I explain about the concept of emptiness, I always refer quantum physics. So then, to people who have some knowledge about quantum physics, then they understand. As I mentioned yesterday, the quantum physicists, they quite clearly understand, or nothing exists as appears. And then the observer side, they still not yet developed to investigate about observer. So in any way, now what is the use of this concept? Rather, 동원이 따왔디 저카야 당서 아주 되게 고거래. 동원이 따왔디 저카도.
So since we aspire to happiness, what is the relevance of the teaching of emptiness?
Very nature of our mind is pure. That a subtle level of mind, no beginning, no end. When we have some experience, you see the experience yesterday I mentioned, very, very innermost or subtle level of consciousness, then pure. That we cannot sort of meditate on it. Because you see the grosser level of consciousness always, you see, come. Then within that, the emotion. Now emotion, within the emotion, there are, let's say, a lot of sort of different emotion. Some emotion, such as compassion, altruism, bring us inner strength. Inner strength is reduce fear, anxiety. The opposite, anger, or hatred, these you see bring sort of fear. And then you see kasoda. That fear, I think, destroy peace of mind. So when we talk the happiness, not sensorial level, that's common with other animals. When we talk the pleasant happiness is mainly refer with a mental state. Because sensorial experience compare mental sort of experience, sensorial experience not very important. Obviously, when mental level, that person peace, happy, then sensorial level doesn't matter what kind of seeing, what kind of hearing, what kind of sort of touch like that. Then mental level, too much worry, too much fear. Then sensorial level, good food, good shelter, good companion like that won't help to remove the too much sort of worry or sort of suffering in mental level. Therefore, obviously, mental level experience is much more important. Now for that, the animals, as I mentioned yesterday, is the ability, mental level, very limited. Now we have this mental level because of the our mind is very sophisticated. So more sophisticated, and also it may help more worry, more suffering. So more worry comes anger, irritate, anger. Then I think it is quite a pity. Last century, I think this wonderful human brain used for weapon, including nuclear weapon, and too much sort of violence, too much suffering. So these clearly, also this shows mental peace is key thing, not sensorial level satisfaction. key thing is mental level. So now it is very important to analyze what is the causes of disturbing our mind or these emotion. What is the real causes of the more calm mind? So now, very important to study about psychology. Firstly, T. Oh, what's the name?
No.
Cake to it. Cake, you know.
Judy Cheval.
Ah. Bene. I think you have the cha-cha-cha-cha. This should be cake in Chamavche. And ma Migbenon ma Uzujino Tangota.
So the person in charge of giving the tea and the snacks has actually given us only tea, so that we could finish it first, and then later we can have the snacks, so that we're going to have some difficulty swallowing.
Oh, now good. Some biscuit and tea should go together. That's very good. 자서가다도 직사콜로지다 삼루도도 심주체연도 심투연의 견즈직디 다도즈부터 가서다 랑진진디체 심투연의 릭직디 아니 다다셴 강다강이네고 텐딩네베 속도도 주땡이지 달로를 시기야데 샤원나지 텐딩네 주어진 건지제도 될 덴진세레 오다 녀로성의 직디 차대어리.
And so, when we talk about learning about psychology, how our emotions work, one of the causes of our the disturbing emotions that we experience is this grasping at some kind of an independent existence in things, whereby you see as if things have some kind of objective independent existence.
I think your tea already finished. Your tea. Oh, they way. The charge in the best loot. They charge corner. Chayaki toy. Charge corner. 마다 거기다도 자 잡고다 네 자상하다 란신진되기 동해영향이 차상영향이 견직치기 하래 디냐몰이야 현신진 상득이 하래 지정기 난게 태도고 심정 탐절로 이동한테 진심부인부터 소소 배천들도 소소도 심주경이 다디 서버 공배된 처리 다 서버 등행기 라마인 사바체제 두시리 심초야디 배지다 고속총조되도 와 되는 처증네 된적이다 지금 넘버도 어디지 지금 나오는 신 단디니 여버지기 담버 셴별로디기 지기와 인도 달아야 나와도 주요 말이 신의 타 셴별로디기 덴징기 아테고 놓고 시도도
So, on the other hand, there is this, cherishing of oneself alone instead of cherishing others. And so, because of self-cherishing attitude, we cause ourselves suffering. And all these emotions of attachment, anger, and so forth also arises because of this self-cherishing attitude. And so the counterforce to the self-cherishing attitude is cherishing others over oneself. And so the greater you cherish others, the more you cherish others over oneself, the sentient beings who are limitless like the expanse of the space, looking at them as your own dear parents and so forth, with affection, the greater you will be able to reduce this self-cherishing attitude on the one hand, and also you should be able to, by actually viewing or perceiving these sentient beings whom we usually consider as provoking anger and so forth, by perceiving them as teachers of compassion, patience, you will also be able to reduce your anger towards them. And so this is one way of reducing our negative, the disturbing emotions within ourselves, by cherishing others over oneself, as an antidote to cherishing oneself. And then the other factor of which can actually destroy or our negative emotions is understanding that things do not exist the way they appear to us. Although the things appear to us as if they have some kind of objective, independent existence, that's not the way the things are. And therefore, by gaining a very strong conviction that things things do not exist the way they appear to us, but that they lack that kind of appearance, independent existence, it will help us to reduce this strong and intense grasping at independent existence.
Oh yeah. 저는 다들이데 저다들이 인도간서 church에서도 동에서야 같은 다르다. 다 동에서야디 나 동에 마용 쇼스 melom께도 핑거 말이 동에 두드 근데 심어봐 세주잖니. 다 가다 sem 모두에 동에 연구하래. sem 뒤에 디지 연구하래. 근데 이 sem 모두를 신에도 컨트스도 다 심주차지.
So the practice of Dharma is for overcoming our suffering, misery. And so this overcoming of suffering cannot come merely by making prayers, but you need to actually search or look into what are the causes of our suffering. And therefore, you should understand that to the extent that your mind is uncontrolled, there is suffering. Whereas to the extent that you are able to control your mind, there is happiness. And therefore, you need to go and go look at what causes our suffering.
대단가 좀 전에 그런 게 송도가 돈놈 되고 주의 미추신 로에 동에 차게 미실라 니기 똑같이나 보면디 주니 때문에 좋은 뉴스야.
And so the Buddha himself has stated that the sages, the great sages, the Buddhas, do not wash away the sins of sentient beings with water, nor do they pick or remove their suffering with their hands, nor do they transfer their own realizations into the sentient beings, but by teaching the truth of reality, they liberate sentient beings.
I never state Buddhism is best. Religion like medicine. We cannot say, pick up one medicine and then say, this is best medicine. We can't say. According to the patient's sort of condition and what kind of illness, accordingly, then we can say, this medicine is best for you. So religion also like that. You see, among the human being, the different mental disposition. So therefore, according to their mental disposition, then you should choose the religious tradition which you find more effective, more suitable. So I never said Buddhism is the best religion. But as far as the philosophical viewpoint, I think Buddhism, and particularly Nalanda tradition, Sanskrit tradition, is, I think we can say best. So now it becomes quite clear. The meeting with scientists is a mutual benefit. We learn something, useful information, and for them also you find useful information about mind, these things. So I think among the different religious traditions, I think Buddhism, particularly the Nalanda tradition, is, I think, the only sort of different philosophical views which can go side by side with modern science, like that. So now, I think one casualty as a result of meeting with scientists is now the Mount Meru. I do not believe. Some Buddhist literature mentioned, particularly the younger brother of Arya Asanga, the Busuband, his Abhidhammakosha Karika, the 3rd chapter, very detailed explanation. World is flat. Zabulin Shingdi, Jigla Paza Sharan Shispen, the Chijun
So in Abhidhammakosha Karika by Master Vasubandhu, he actually gives a detailed description of the cosmos and the world's system.
Yeah, and then in the center, Mount Meru, the height, size, very detailed explanation. Then the size of moon and sun, and the level, this moon and sun, same level. So now, scientific sort of, what's the finding? According to science, the world is because of the round, no Mount Meru. It mentioned, you see, here in the southern sort of world, daytime, the sun comes, and then nighttime, sun goes other side of Mount Meru. So the shadow of Mount Meru we experience. So dark, we call as a night. No. I myself, from India to Japan, or to Europe, Europe to America, then America to Japan, quite a number of time. I never saw Mount Meru. We can't say Mount Meru is something mysterious, because, you see, shadow of Mount Meru, actually we experiencing. So they, 세상 timna thing as goes to go. That timna can't even result Toya Yamas in Kautoa.
So since we are said to experience the shadow of Mount Meru, I mean, if that is the case, how can we say that we cannot see Mount Meru?
So therefore, these are our liberty to reject some of these sort of ancient thought which come from Buddhist text. Doesn't matter. So now, as far as the deeper level explanation about deeper level, I think now quantum physics fully support, like that. So therefore, the Buddhist philosophy is, I think, most realistic and complete and very sophisticated. That in joy on the take love search.
No. So it was already explained earlier that our sufferings come from this mental construct or the exaggerated outlook, because of which the negative emotions arise, and that causes karma, and in turn we have suffering.
Now, the Aryadeva's 400 verses mentioned. Suna miba tangburdo, parto tanen dobarchi, tamang tashi kundoba, tishiteni kebains.
And so for 400 verses of Aryadeva says, first get rid of the non-meritorious actions, and then in the middle get rid of this grasping at some kind of a self, independent self, and finally in the end get rid of all kind of objectification. And that if you are able to do this, you are a wise one.
That's it, and the Jayang Gabutigi. Takwe Shenji Changju Sim, get a Yamnilla, or Label Hati, mix it chin of Jori, Joyori. Then a tunyu to Tawa day, and mix it in Jawachati Yori, the Hindu, or Jan Kabuti, young Kovachum Ziji, the Tonsti.
And so the permission initiation that we are going to receive is of White Manjushri, and White Manjushri has a special relevance in terms of relevance in with regard to developing this bodhicitta, the spirit of enlightenment, which actually considers others more important than oneself, cherishing others more over oneself, and also it has this relevance or significance of for developing the view of emptiness. And therefore, I want to do this permission initiation.
As I mentioned yesterday, my daily main practice is altruism and understanding of ultimate reality. Very, very helpful. Very helpful. So therefore, because these practice really transform my emotion, my mind, and result become more happy person. So therefore, we all 7 billion human beings, mentally, emotionally, physically, same. So therefore, you see, I believe you all may find some useful about the practice of altruism, practice of the wisdom, which understand the reality, not accept as appears. Okay. That's enough. 네, 안다디 수수디 상황 추고도 저리 리니지 계시물이 유림디. 네디 수수디 다다름식군인데 시위가 준주관아.
And so, since this initiation comes under the category of Tantra, and it is in Tantra, it is very important to have the pure lineage of this transmission. And therefore, with regard to this particular permission initiation of White Manjushri, I received it from in my childhood from Dada Rinpoche.
가 리샤 다 딘집시 다잖아 아니 상아 쳐사대야 창조 섬다 돈이 다 실샤베 탈이야 아니 타이는 저 시기야리.
And so, with regard to the sacred mantrayana practices, on top of doing the practice of bodhicitta, cultivating bodhicitta, and also the view of emptiness, you also do the deity yoga practice.
다대한다 탐에베 류지다 류텔라 템베 참여배 다디 사인성은 록시적으로.
So when it comes to doing deity yoga, where you see yourself or visualize yourself as a deity, I mean, if you just remain ordinary and think that you are this and that deity, I mean, that is total distorted view.
So, the Indusane, Hakomia, the Kurdish Corslona, Tuni dog with Sunum, Harshawas at the Kuyori.
And so how do you arise or visualize yourself transforming into a deity is, first of all, I mean, you do meditation on emptiness. And from within that state of emptiness, as the apprehended object, then you arise into a deity. So that's called deity yoga.
자상가 나 학검단디 아니 내가 말하는 다셔야 되기 덕시 파파파파지 집에 있는 탈도윤도 배지 융의 외세들이.
And so when you arise or visualize yourself transforming into a deity, what is the basis, I mean, on the ground of which you actually, do go through that transformation? I mean, that basis, the fundamental basis is that the innate clear light nature of the mind.
그래서 통담에 비슷한번에 송하는 시 진정이 융의 외세들 통마여면 타마 사직 살주거래.
And so, with regard to this clear light, innate clear light mind, it is said to be that the sattva of which has no beginning and no end. And so, because of this, I mean, this clear light nature of mind can go all the way through to the state of Buddhahood.
자, 다들 얘기 ngaranzolo rangxia su yedewe nyumu tenji jibe wese ti chima de chema zhe ge chane ma do wese kore gaso rengxin ru ko chane sanje ge tu de jibu cha de yore.
And so this innate clear light mind that we have now, I mean, in its called the basic nature, and called which is that its intrinsic nature is that of being devoid of any defilements, and therefore in that basic nature it is the same as that of the mind of a Buddha. But because our in this clear light mind is rather tainted, contaminated by the defilements, I mean, it is not the mind of a Buddha yet.
Yeah. That day, Chimuluburu Wanyitang, Yonder she needing chills. And the same with that gun, Mada with gun, got a new bit, that same Gichuma, new bit to the Shisha to said, Luburu Chadiari, same Renshin Shuyamare. Renshin you Sawadi, some Kurang Renshin Chadiari. Just some Renshin you Sawadi, then she's a time to share again, nobody dig on the Yorida. Just the Hindu, Chimuluburu Wanyita, Yonder Renshin needing chills. 전당은 심된 주머니 방도리스 남진 나바토지 김베이시 심디된의 주토리스 다시시거리.
So it is said that the defilements that are in our mind are adventitious; they're temporary, not in the intrinsic nature of the mind itself. Whereas the intrinsic nature of the mind, the quality of that mind, is clear light, and therefore, what this says is that it is possible for us to get rid of these defilements that are in our mind because they are not in the intrinsic nature of the mind, whereas the intrinsic nature of the mind itself, the basic nature, is that of clear light nature. And because of that, it is possible for us to overcome all the defilements and also attain that of an omniscient mind of a Buddha.
진짜 인도산에 냐라 동원이 상다. Any Tony Tobe Lotini, that 로디 되게 차라먹고 시베는게 로차들 삼단이 산제가 살이야 종에 로차들 삼단이 다 뒤에니 서구나발 샤테버 삼단 제 인도니도 무슨 할샤와스다 캐버와다 두 삼단 주리.
And so, because of that, we, in order to attain that goal of enlightenment, Buddhahood, and the omniscient state of, omniscient mind of a Buddha, what we need to go through is the process of meditation. And therefore, you meditate on emptiness, and then from within that meditation on emptiness, which is for which you use, called precisely that of the subtle mind itself, and therefore, the subtle mind, which is focused and absorbed in meditation, and from within that state of meditation on emptiness, that subtle mind kind of arises into the form of a deity, and therefore you do the deity yoga practice.
Sata under the Lama yang taki tungni komni, and tungni to sunul harshawashi. Kumdri in Jan Gao, the Chikita Nabalia, Comdeare. And in Dunja, the Netelea, Tenegani, Jan Gao Chiki, Takan Jetuchita, Jan Gao, the Momayo Sabashe. Dan Lomazui, Kandalhar, Kumduzane, the Dusan Sam Tangori, Tachana.
So,
this got some giddy conscious on the day.
yes.
But the Yoranda. Donna somebody said that they are Yamare.
Do you have the text for bodhicitta in your booklet?
Mabtra.
With the wish to free all sentient beings. Do you Yamare?
Kasha Yabra. Check.
So the text should be, with the wish to free all sentient beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, all Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until I reach the heart of enlightenment, enthused by wisdom and compassion, diligently for the sake of sentient beings in the presence of Buddha. Yes. So His Holiness is wondering which text you have in this booklet for bodhicitta.
Which verses?
Which verses? Because there are different verses there or texts that you can use for generating bodhicitta. So His Holiness is wondering which text you have in this book. What's page 33? The Dunham generation. Dunham gender somebody. Long. So in order to receive this blessing, His Holiness was explaining that you should visualize the Guru in the form of Manjushri, White Manjushri, as His Holiness has done the self-generation into the deity White Manjushri, and also in the altar you can see the portrait of Manjushri. So you should in fact be able to visualize Manjushri. So you should be able to imagine the Lama and the deity in the altar. You can see the portrait, and actually in the form of deity in person, not just portrayed.
Now here we visualize firstly in the center Buddha Shakyamuni. Visualize like this Buddha Shakyamuni. Then surrounded by Nagarjuna, Arya Asanga, Arya Deva, Buddhapalita, and so on. All these Nalendra masters. Usually I describe Nalendra as also the university or learning center. So these these monks I usually describe the professors of Nalendra. In Tibetan language, since 8th century, they gradually start translation. So altogether 300 volumes. So these are actually text or study. So these people I consider truly professors of Nalendra, also the institution. So visualize or imagine in the center Buddha, then these Nalendra masters. Then also including some yogis like Teloba, Naroba, Mijiva, Chibuba, about 80 great cities.
Siddha, Mahasiddhas.
Mahasiddhas. So. Like Nagarjuna also, one of them. But then also you see they surrounded by Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, and Goddess Tara.
So in other words, the 8 close bodhisattva disciples of the Buddha in the form of deity, and together with Goddess Tara, you should visualize them.
Oh yeah. So then these people or deities, see, they reach, I think, highest sort of quality of our mind because they practice bodhicitta and understanding of shunyata. Some cases, through eons they practice. So now think, these are our teacher. The wonderful sort of text, Nagarjunas, like Madhyamika Mulakarika. Oh, wonderful. I study that. Whenever I have some time, I read, think. So these masters are really opener of our wisdom eye. So really, I think these are truly our teacher. So some kind of faith towards these people, not just a blind faith. Oh, after reading their writing, and then investigate, really marvelous. And these concepts, not just mentioning how many stars, not like that, but how to deal with this,
negative emotion. No, this undisciplined mind, how to deal with it.
Through reasoning. So therefore, now visualize these great scholars and bodhisattvas. And then we should imagine our own sort of ourselves surrounded by the limitless sentient being. We all do not want suffering. No, want the happiness, joyfulness. But because of ignorance, we do not want suffering, but suffering deliberately create. We want joyfulness, but we just, do not pay much attention about the cause of joyfulness. So think these things. Then, now I determined, in order to help infinite sentient being. When we talk that, I feel on this same planet, yesterday I think I mentioned,
no.
Only the other galaxies, we can't do anything. Only this planet. Then birds, animals, insects, limitless, we can't do anything. The only thing, human being. So human being, in spite marvelous intelligence, potential of these things, but we human being, I think, remain most troublemaker. Other animals, other birds, or animal like tiger, because of meat eater, their teeth equipped like that, very terrified.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Terrifying. But you see, there, killings or these things, very limited. When they really feel hungry, then they do something. We human being, although you see all the facility there, but we through imaginations already.
No.
I want that. And then really create a lot of problem. So it is really pity this marvelous human intelligence now used for destructive. Really very sad. So now here, we are part of that. So now, this moment, in the front of Buddha, at the Bodhisattvas, I now make pledge.
No. So you should make pledge to generate bodhicitta. With this
now
text,
read that.
Please, on page 33 in your book.
33, right.
Lord.
Page 33. I think you, because of the Vietnamese language. Oh, so Vietnamese language, nyang, 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 like that. Yes. Now you see, in front of these Bodhisattvas, and you see the four limitless sort of sentient being, and the practical level, 7 billion human beings. Now I determined, rest of my life, you see, if possible, to serve them, to help them. If not possible, at least I will never harm them, restrain, sort of harming them. Okay. So we now determined, you see, to cultivate altruism, infinite altruism. Yes. Now.
Mời quý vị đọc lớn phần mục thứ 4 phát tâm Bồ Đề. Phát Bồ Đề tâm nguyện. Với tâm nguyện giải thoát chúng sinh cho đến ngày viên mãn Bồ Đề, con xin thường quy y Phật Pháp chúng trung tôn. Con nguyện luôn tinh tấn, tu bồi từ bi và trí tuệ. Vì lợi ích hữu tình, trước chư Phật chứng minh, con phát nguyện vô thượng Bồ Đề. Khi nào không gian còn, chúng sinh còn tồn tại, nguyện con còn ở lại, xua tan mọi khổ nạn của chúng sinh. Với tâm nguyện giải thoát chúng sinh cho đến ngày viên mãn Bồ Đề, con xin thường quy y Phật Pháp chúng trung tôn. Con nguyện luôn tinh tấn, tu bồi từ bi và trí tuệ. Vì lợi ích hữu tình, trước chư Phật chứng minh, con phát tâm vô thượng Bồ Đề. Khi nào không gian còn, chúng sinh còn tồn tại, nguyện con còn ở lại, xua tan mọi khổ nạn của chúng sinh. Với tâm nguyện giải thoát chúng sinh cho đến ngày viên mãn Bồ Đề, con xin thường quy y Phật Pháp chúng trung tôn. Con nguyện luôn tinh tấn, tu bồi trừ bi và trí tuệ. Vì lợi ích hữu tình, trước chư Phật chứng minh, con phát tâm vô thượng Bồ Đề. Khi nào không gian còn, chúng sinh còn tồn tại, nguyện con còn ở lại, xua tan mọi khổ nạn của chúng sinh.
다 고부시고를 순하들이 어디 아주 어디 다 지금 누구입니까? 로마 차들 풍부를 지달이니 진신신 더 신선달이 전에보다 간다 아니 저치단 좀 집에 뒤지 초전된 저 의어서의 미세된 된 저네를 시시에 매지 초전된 실험 참시 두고인 저에서 중심이지 전에 로템적인 를 조르시비 지티 저에는 동서에 섬진다와 상황이 저에는 시저도 진진이만 전부 전다 산제 이송 담조고 수벌에 머지니 고 총인지 어디 들으셔 다 들으겠네다 야 심기야 생인데 다 시부지 말아서 내가 응원도 주의하게 탑쳐 내리 주의야 수준 걸로 셴이 시드제버 도야 생인데 셴은 너 시드제버 도야 생인데 란균제도 시는 도야 셴 지분좀 유럽대니 셴 균제도 시는 도야 차윤데 가다 기본적인 람 러승민 냠는데 하드 저 용돼야지 엔드네다 남게 주의야 그 취준다 찬주선 심으로 차대기요래 진짜 인도 당원에 원도 주야 내리 주야 탐지kim에 고반 주야 그다음에 지금 소싱 서르디 찬죽섬르샤 시부스 아셔버리 나다 말아서도 심기버디 다 겨워서버리 아니 나영원의 자신이 직장조다디 뭐주르체 꾸머르체 샤shum버디 당원에 겨워서도 셔버 기회 주베주베이
Okay. Master Shantideva, in his Bodhisattva Charyavatara, says this bodhicitta, having generated the bodhicitta, it is like a blind man or a person finding a treasure in the garbage, and also it is like the nectar to overcome mortality, and it is also for the poor people to overcome the poverty. It is like the treasure, and also it is that tree that gives shade to the ones who are tired on the path of the samsara, and it is like the moon that gives the soothing rays for the people who are tired on the travelers and on their way, and it is like the sun that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. And it is also, then he says, it is this the churning of the butter from the milk of the ocean of the teaching of the Buddha. And so in this way he praises the that of bodhicitta, this ultimate or infinite altruism. And when you are able to practice this bodhicitta and cultivate it within yourself, what you also do is you practice that of ethical, moral ethics. And with regard to the moral ethics, of course, there are those practices which pertain to avoiding the negative actions because you don't want to suffer. But on the other hand, there is the moral ethics whereby you don't think of what happened with your own suffering, but you actually say that if you do something wrong or harm others, it will actually cause suffering to others, and therefore, in order to avoid or the harming others, you practice moral ethics. And so, in this way, within this practice of bodhisattvas, what you also go through is the practice of the three trainings, the three higher trainings, and also the practice pertaining to the three types of beings within the graduated stages of the path. And so you have more than what is basic to the three trainings, and in terms terms of the 3 higher trainings. And in fact, when you do practice and develop bodhicitta, what happens is you are creating the causes for higher rebirth, as well as definite goodness or liberation, and also ultimately thereof the omniscient state of Buddhahood. And therefore, bodhicitta is like the central pole that holds everything together. And therefore, you should feel very fortunate to have this opportunity to make the pledge that you would work for sentient beings and generate bodhicitta. And regarding myself, I also feel that I have this the fortunate to be able to give this opportunity to you for generating bodhicitta, and I make this, whatever merit is accrued from it, as an offering of practice to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Oh yeah. 다디나. 다가나 심지도 조리다 지차체. 다디네마 다제나 무실이야. 다 중나 왕토스 구야래. 지금 저주기. 다 연체가 왕토바시. 다 장소 망구지 패시도 지전에서 왕소로 지 배는 통고 왕소로 들을 터 패시 망구 장소 터여줘. 다음에 왕토면에야 패시다 정이 터굴 왕토바디디 정이 터굴 검쳐시. 왕 마토바디디 아니 지자배야 죽을 거면인다.
So ideally, with regard to this blessing of White Manjushri, the main practice, of course, is bodhicitta, and which we have already done the ceremony for generating it. And in order to ideally receive this blessing of White Manjushri, you should have received a full-fledged initiation of from within any of the 4 tantra sets, Kriya Tantra and above. But many of you may have received initiation of Avalokiteshvara or Kalachakra. And so if you have received any of the full-fledged initiations, I mean, when you go through this process of the Jenang, the blessing here, I mean, you could visualize yourself where you are told to visualize yourself as a deity. You could do that, and visualizing yourself transforming into that of Manjushri. And whereas those of you who have not received any full-fledged initiation before, what you can do is you can still visualize White Manjushri on your crown.
Oh yeah. The
So for you, you could imagine Manjushri having this, what do you call, Fu Manchu.
야, 다 독립다고 고민하자, 다데.
Next, we need to
다다. 아니 풍속이 되면 최대 탐제 마다는 냠가와. 그뭐 그러셔서 있나? 타냐도 작성 지구권의 여등이지. 다 타냐도 작성 지구권의 여마도 된대네. 다 매대버지. 그다 차대요. 그래서 딱전잖아. 다 된대네 이여나 다 만주 슈트의 디스는 누구주스디 다 과도 파파파 제기요. 그 된진 거는 주의나 파 지성자가 대처기 그 모두 세트를 줘라. 파 자는 천년도. 배나 마사 다사의 자는 천년도. 나이 루세디 루샤시디 파 세리나 천년도. 단만시스베 천지 탐절로 파 따준 자는 천년도 차대 거래. 저 드리인데 마다 맞아봐. 작성 그거네 여버지 저기요래. 다 드리지 더 드리지 레디 나서로 낭단데 나슬도 대지 죽죽서 여등을지 나이 루스도 라고 창수 여등을지 친느 직대인인다 주의 심정인인다 didn't this in Phong Zuzu Yedo Zigan Zulu Nangadua, or now that the Drumeva did a touch over it. Tenam Shinganam, what a Dishangela, Casa Shisan and Casa Kajang Sindragon. Consumer did a Namjana, Tini Dagjan, Tekonanik Dagjans, Korang Pike, Rangshin Drudenge, Pake, Rangsen Jigedevich, Imayina, knew what is in Casa City. Tini Dagjan, Murle, Tsurutu, Nani Mines, Tishin Jigdingi, Tanya than a number of Jamajasone, Co Yinupa Jam, Kunia Medavich Chatigori. The controversy is Dara Shigori. So, did he understand that? Penun Digiari, Penun Jenny, Yari, that you look at Islana, Tekona Nig Dajan, Yingone, Drumeva Indusane, Penun Digiari, that you look at Islana, Jigden Takbakon, you were Konamato, that made of Chavari. Tenor the Namjis, Numdu you were Mainsh, tell the Shantu you were Jigden Takbakon, Yavain. So that Tirisha, so I was Shivujashati. So that this sometimes that day, almost Sumba saw the Mosumba hung slowly, that nothing at the Quado, Dr. Zeta. And you get that little Makisha, that was Quado, Kenya.
So, as you heard this mantra, Swabhava Shuddha Sarvatama Swabhava Shuddha Hang, what this actually refers to is that of emptiness. And so here you should meditate on emptiness. So within when you do this meditation on emptiness, you should first search where or who you are. And I mean, of course, without doing any kind of deeper analysis, whether you are the body and the mind and so forth, if you just look at yourself, you will have a sense that I am here. But then when you actually have that kind of a conception or view, I mean, where is that self? Is the one that you need to search for. And so when you don't do any kind of analysis, you seem to have some solid existence. And in fact, when you look at yourself, it appears as if you are there, somewhere. I mean, there's something solid that you may feel you are here. But then there is
something
no
objectivity there. Investigate nothing.
No. And so what you can actually find is when you do analysis into yourself, whether you are the body, your aggregates, the mind and the body aggregates or not, you will not be able to pinpoint anything as being yourself. But then without doing any analysis, you seem to have some kind of a perception that you are here. And therefore, what you should be able to get at through this kind of analysis is that when you search for yourself within the body and the mind, you will not be able to find anything that you can pinpoint as you being yourself. And therefore, what this shows is that you do not exist the way you appear to your mind. And therefore, in Chandrakirti's Madhyamaka Avatara, it is said that when you actually search for yourself, I mean, what happens is there is this appearance of yourself, which appears as if there is some kind of independently existing self. But that is not, there is no such an existence at all when you do this kind of analysis into the nature of yourself or the identity of yourself. And therefore, what you can, from this, what you can see is that although things do have existence, they exist only by way of worldly conventions and not by any kind of an independent existence. And so, therefore, what you should confirm to yourself is that you do not exist the way you appear to yourself. The appearance is that you are some kind of, there is some solid or objective independent existence, but then if that is the case, you should be able to find it when you do this subtle analysis into yourself, whether you are the body or the mind and so forth. You should be able to find something as being yourself, whereas you cannot find anything that you can pinpoint as being yourself. Therefore, you do not exist independently the way you appear appear to yourself, and you only exist as worldly convention. And so through this, by this you can extend the logic to His Holiness himself. You hear his voice, but where is His Holiness? I mean, if you try to find him within the body and the mind, you won't be able to pinpoint anything as being him as such. So in this way, through this kind of analysis, you should meditate on emptiness with the confirmation that there is nothing that when you do not exist or anything does not exist as they appear to you.
Vietnamese media yore da dembar bata ra da condition nang do slam na the Vietnamese media sin penezo da so kuja kan le Vietnamese media be yue de ji na yong do na wa na so chou zhu ge xin du na ta di de pa zan na ni ya me wei de zan ne xi zi zhe ni ju ji si tong si tan le yu jin de zhu me ba ji le na wa le 전쟁원에 주어지 나와 샤드잖아요. 나와서 소주고 신도나 시설체에 니주지 스스통. 루지 규메 때문에 나야 믿으면 규모도 못이 차용도. 루지 규메 때문에 자나다. 대노마냥 똥이 못도 사다들이.
And so, with regard to this view of emptiness, meditation emptiness, when I look at you, of course, you all are here from Vietnam, Vietnamese people. I can see you are sitting on your chair and so forth. But then, it's true that I see Vietnamese people here sitting on your chair. But then, while saying that you are here sitting on your chair, if I try to pinpoint where you are within yourself, body and the mind, so forth, there's nothing that I can actually come up with that I can actually identify as yourself as such. And therefore the seventh Dalai Lama says that at this crossroad of the six perceptions, where you see the different objects, the diversity of objects, there is this groundless, hazy, dualistic appearance. And therefore, he says that do not, cling on to there being something solid or independently existence. Just, be mindful of emptiness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, now in this moment, meditate on shunyata. Nothing. If you investigate, nothing find can objectively. Tako zaane ni gyume de chigi de mebe ke marta ta ko yen yore anda jomde be chik sun yore nelu dala meya rashi tores zumuya rashi tores re de menan zuzuna tsiyama to yamars 자자가다 여버디 녀미도 그게다 아주 소리무도 다 민장 다유상 가면도 샤스견도 다 민장 다유상 임바 상로 코윤데 모니주 동데 파 네바 장용하지 모니지 동 인자 때는 딱고 더초 네바 장용하지 어떻듯이 샤 나외 여자사당 나선 때마도 편에 주지 때내면도 삼아 샤윤데 나외 여자세 다 나온다도 좀 매등의 지기 타녀도 작별관에 여 싸움이 있잖아요. 작별관에 여버디 시행인도 동배 메타세. 어디르시야?
So when we say that you do not, as individuals or as groups and so forth, you do not exist the way you appear to yourself, saying that things are empty doesn't mean there is nothing at all. It doesn't mean nihilistic, non-existence. But what we are saying is, as Dom Tempa has said, that of course the fire and your finger do not exist independently. But then by saying, having said that, if you put your finger in the fire, it will burn. And so what this shows is that although when you try to search for the identity of things in themselves and in and of themselves, you cannot come up with anything that you can pinpoint as being this and that. Yet conventionally, by worldly convention, things do exist, and therefore this is something that is undeniable. The existence of things in convention is undeniable. Therefore, although they do not exist independently, objectively, independently, they do exist. And how they exist is merely by way of designation. And so and therefore, what you have to try to understand here is that on the one hand, the appearances of things, confirm to us that there is no eternal existence or independent existence in things, because things are merely designated. They are known, renowned by worldly convention. They do not have any intrinsic or independent existence as such, and therefore, by saying that things are empty of any independent existence, you should be able to get rid of that of the extreme of nihilism. Whereas by seeing that things have appearances, you should be able to get rid of that of the extreme of eternalism.
Oh yeah. Satakisati, any. 류로류원 지신도 띠무고는 내주 대신다 송샤 녀모 참을러라 진정이 유딩네 여버지 나나다도 주니 예다바지 신댕이 걸로 되기 차단지야 참으로 뒤터는 용되게 하래.
And so, as explained earlier also, in the 400 verses of Master Aryadeva, he says, just as the bodily faculty permeates all the other faculties, sensory faculties, likewise, this fundamental ignorance, the confusion, permeates all other negative emotions. And therefore, as long as you have this notion of things having some kind of objective existence, and not just that they appear to you, but when you actually cling on to that, there's going to be the negative emotions such as anger, attachment, and so forth.
Oh yeah, that's the reason. That 가서 뭔지 좀 때문에 삼바치 로로 나온다도 좀 때문에 삼 내등에다 로티니 줍줍치네. 로티니 이네 그 가서 티니 이네 야经验了我们家族些第几里啊呢北面东部些但呢第港里啊呢对阿兰大卫经过个等了呀特意东尼那边落地呢呢我听你把啦那把呢一个搞不上这来为是这甚至머리 그 멤버 상황도 주고 뒤에 머리 그 멤버 타다 봤어 싫고 나와라 그 술도 용수 줘발래 네네 대한다 리무치번의 신지기 구당이번의 신지기 아니 대 자양 깔고 어두스 이 저지 아니 연두스 배면동 못땡을 야 저지요 돼 봐. 저지도 도와 배면동 못땡 저지남 쇼 봐. 된지식 라파타 주소 사바체 아니 왕 마토도 제가 수주리야 다 자양가 같은 지 봐. 셋업 쇼.
And so now we go through the visualization of transforming ourselves as the deity, White Manjushri. And so for that, first of all, feel convinced to yourself and confirm that things do not exist the way they appear to your mind. That there's nothing whatever that things exist the way they appear to us. And so have a strong conviction in that. And from within that meditation on emptiness, then what you have to imagine is there arises an ocean of milk, And within in the center of the ocean of milk there arise a lotus, and on top of that lotus you imagine that of an R syllable arising, and that transforms into the moon disk. And then on the moon disk, in the center of the moon disk, you imagine that of a letter R. And so, which in fact is that mind that you have, which has meditated and which has absorbed in emptiness, as you have meditated on emptiness. So, from within that meditation on emptiness, the mind, transforms into the letter R again in the center of the moon, which is white in color. Letter R in white in color, and from the letter R, imagine rays of light going out, radiating, and these rays of light, goes out into the universe, and they touch sentient beings. And by touching the sentient beings, the ignorance of sentient beings are dispelled, and they are called blessed with, or they develop that of the wisdom of emptiness. And then, having done them, then you imagine these rays of light drawing back into the letter R, and that letter R in turn transforms into yourself as Manjushri, as it is, as you can see on the screen, with white, Manjushri white in color. In his right hand, he holds the lotus, and on top of the lotus, you imagine
left.
Oh. No. Left hand, you imagine the lotus, and in the center of the lotus there is a sword, double-edged sword.
Oh.
So this sword is a sword of wisdom. And so sword symbolizes that of wisdom, and just as in the world people use knife to cut, when you do harvesting, you cut the plants. Likewise, this wisdom here, this sword here, is to cut the root of our ignorance.
Oh yeah.
So, those of you, as said earlier, who have received full-fledged initiations of Avalokiteshvara and so forth, you can visualize yourself now transformed into Manjushri. And those of you who have not received any initiation, imagine Manjushri sitting on your crown in this aspect.
Lu nga yisum tada tamebe lu rapata tela tember nga lu tela lunga lu tent shebe yilu rapa di sanjak sa dra yamare ta tagisagi nyumul henji gebe wesegi tengne ani wesegi shambelungdi lu chashul zibre di rangda ai dang na bole yutebadi ani nga ga sa shebe 디 신의 롱숨기 샘디 아니 이전에 어다 신도 차에 룡아 예수 다전에 모예메리 어다 된지 디된 게 처음부터 봐 산에 윤주잖아요. 맨 산제이 성송 로치고 살 꾸지 주고요.
And having visualized Manjushri, either yourself as Manjushri or Manjushri sitting on your crown, now imagine these three letters: Om on the crown, and R at your throat, and then Hum at your heart. At the heart of the deity. And so these represent the body, speech, and mind of Manjushri. And with regard to these body, speech, and mind, of course, as sentient beings, at this stage, we have the body, speech, and mind which are gross in nature. And so this gross form of body, speech, and mind cannot become or cannot go all the way to the state of Buddha's body, speech, and mind. Whereas what actually goes into the state of Buddha's body and mind, mind, and speech is that subtle, wind mind, mind and the wind energy, which are always together. When we are talking about the innate, clear light nature of the mind. And so together with that innate clear light nature of the mind, there is always the wind, subtle wind energy that serves as like the horse to the mind. So they go together, and when these two are transformed completely, then you have the body, the speech of a Buddha, and the body, and then the mind of a Buddha. And so this subtle wind energy is actually the source or the origin of our voice, or and then the subtle mind. When this subtle wind energy is totally purified and transforms, then you attain the mind and the speech and the body of a Buddha. Whereas the subtle mind itself, the clear light mind, transforms into that of the Buddha's mind.
다 rani genesis kaza rani jizu jamban jan qabul sen yedaba yana jul sedaba tela ta da zigliti dusman qol shayin sane jamban rejma janlama timsu sabacha.
Yes. And so as the portrait of Manjushri is put on your head, imagine that a duplicate of Manjushri, a real Manjushri, as it is depicted, comes down and dissolves into you. Thereby, you receive that of the blessing of the body of Manjushri.
Sanje namji kuchewa, sanje kunji kuyinde, sanje kuyi chinjilave, sanje kuyi chinlave. Jambe anje ku to sho zang wang da ji jambe ge gui chen lo le go zang to so nya ma na.
So imagine now that you have received all the physical blessings of the body of the Manjushri. Next is the permission initiation of speech of Manjushri. And so make your fervent request to the Guru for the blessing of this speech of Manjushri, and thereby you receive the speech. By receiving the blessing of the speech of Manjushri or the voice of Manjushri, imagine that you have received the blessing in order to be able to serve other sentient beings.
Oh yeah, da.
Please repeat this.
Lama jabe yang se tuger kolu ting pami mja pami ngand de jeba le ngaji changwa wese chowa de jeba lame shene tun no lama jisu jabe yang se ene tuger shu ningal ene 이게 범위지 삼네 데다 리샤 자 watching Dynamo 사기 디미자 야 밤지자 아주 세세는 저것도 알아봐서 나디사 아주 상단에 상무시다 밤다 님돌이 그게 매바시쇼 닝걸이야 범위의 의 간들의 제발 nga지 정화에서 좋아도 제발 라메션에 저런 자배연소 세 셴의 슈네 닝게 범위 야 의전에 간들의 제발 팀베
So imagine the letters Bam and Ah at your heart, and then as you repeat these mantras after His Holiness, you imagine that the balm, together with the mantra of Manjushri, come out of moves up from his heart and comes out of His Holiness' throat, and then comes to you and enters your mouth, and the mantra is placed at your heart together with the balm and the R syllables. So in this way, you please repeat this mantra first.
Oh yeah. Wakit Dynamo.
Wakit Dynamo. Please repeat.
Wakit Dynamo.
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 Tadine dinda arabazinda. Arabaza Nadi.
Repeat this. Arabaza Nadi.
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 Oduse tishkorsh.
Los.
Arabaza Nadi.
Arabaza Nadi.
Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi.
Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi.
Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. Arabaza Nadi. 오늘 미집에 송주야 사절에 디디디디디사도 옥dim질 쳐야지.
And so there is also the practice of reciting or repeatedly the D syllable in order to gain unforgettable memory. So in one breath you should be able to recite the D 108 times. Please breathe in first, strong. Deep
다디 찬스 닌다르시 쇼게 니세바다 아르바스도 창투나 리고야 주리.
So if you could recite this the mantra and every day as you wake up, I mean if you could recite
in the
morning
recite this.
No, it will help to increase your intelligence and wisdom.
It definitely will help.
No.
Okay. according to my own experience. You see, this is very, very, very useful. Since my childhood, I recite this mantra. In spite of old age, my mind is still very clear. So please recite this mantra each morning, okay?
Next is the blessing of the mind of Manjushri. So you should hold your hand in meditation posture. The two hands. The left hand, the right hand on the left palm, and then touch the tip of the two thumbs. And so when you actually press the tip of your thumbs together, it'll form a triangle. Yes. So in this hand gesture that you have to actually hold it at your navel point, the solar plexus, and this particular gesture, hand symbol symbolizes that of the Zendali, the inner heat.
Yeah.
So sit straight, straighten your spine. Yes, and your gaze should be rather straightforward in front of you. And at the level of your mid-eyebrow here, in the space, and you imagine a letter R.
Yes.
So in Sanskrit, the short letter R is actually represents that of a negation. Yes. In the Panchaparamita teaching, the shortest Panchaparamita is called the single letter, which is the letter R, which is the short R in Sanskrit. So the fact that this short letter R represents that of a negation, what you understand by that is that negation of the things having no, negating that things do not exist that way, the way they appear to you. So you should actually focus your gaze at the R that you visualize in the space, just at the level of your mid-eyebrow. And while you look at that R, which represents that of the emptiness, in your mind you should be able to focus your mind on that negation of independent existence in things, which is meditation on emptiness. And then while meditating on emptiness and gazing at the R letter, short R, you should recite this together.
하다 아니 때네 딱선 그 최대의 원이 주었다 때네 매 삼바씩 다도 삼동.
So the letter R, you have recited it 21 times, and then having done that, the letter R comes and dissolves into your heart. And as it dissolves into your heart, you develop this understanding that things exist only by way of designation and not apart from designation.
Oh, yeah. 다 돈이 동반이 또고 탐져도 저와라 셀링이 따바 심지지도네 다 돈이 고미하래.
So single-pointedly meditate on emptiness.
Oh, yeah.
Having a clear idea of.
고불루루기 오마자가 싶으나라 댄지대와 좋아가 되는 동반이도 시 되는 때는 다고데 되는 오면 라면은 강지 동반만이 청거에 보면 뭐 뜻이 가서 근시 땡주만이 청거에 보면 뭐 뜻이 동반만이 청거에 보면 세송샤다들이.
And so in the fundamental wisdom verses of the middle way, Master Nagarjuna says, whatever arises through dependence is said to be empty, and that is said to be merely designated, and that is the middle way. And he says, goes on to say that there is nothing that is not dependent, therefore there's nothing that is not empty.
Oh, yeah, that is central. Budget. 다디네 시바 연대 틀리지잖아. 다 손을 미세 고하게면 다. 뒤는 손 지준이 고치 보면 장 근기는 다가라만 자도서 세네다 소 때문에 다 잡에 천주디 아니 간다다 규디 개체 처리요리 간다다디 가서 다 주디시 소소스 루스마 때야 유대버지 제가 간다 디시나로레 저에서 이제 알레총 안에 루군지 저 전진 이게 담아요 코너 중 저번에 시소송하는 시리 다 간다 저에서 이제 알레총 세야디 다 런신이 동배 아니 가서 우리 뉴메 심다 텔레 주스타레스 저에서 이제 알레총 세송샤다 데 간다 규 디베 저 계속 쉬지 버리 나 된게 규디 ene 장소 봐도 친러체니 나
next is giving
연애틀리기 친러 몰고 톱 연den기 친러 상마 톱소 사버치야.
So this is giving the Manjushri Nama Sangiti text, and so with this, what you receive is the blessing of all the positive, enlightened qualities of Manjushri. In fact, in the text itself, what it says is that all the Buddhas arise from this letter A, and A is. And I is the supreme of all the letters and so forth. And so, by this, what the text is saying is that, and in fact, this text could be. It is a very important and very sacred text, and it could be interpreted according to the various tantra sets, and so, according to the interpretation with regard to that of the innate clear light mind, so the letter R is said to be the source of all the Buddhas. What that means is that all the Buddhas are fundamentally arise from this clear light nature of the mind.
Oh yeah, that the 연재 틀리지잖아. 뒤쪽에 다시 쇼근데다 되시죠. 어야. 대다라 전남지 대바도 누메고는 내려서 어떤네. 다른 얘기. 제 삼배 선반이 제 삼배니 가서 말이 삼배 지시 이거는 지수 잡아야지 전화 잡은들라. 평균 지역에 개와 개회사와 담지 심지 있던 동안에 레체번 제우던데 뭐 차베치도 엔다 디주발레 종이 겨다가 강토가 대 겨우 탐제기 자나시로 토버쇼 와다 지주자배양 거다 진로 탐니 가다다 말한저 조 취르도 남지기 싫어 양양 상로 따네 다 가다 잡아쳐야 돼 계속 시작하대요 또 심베이나 애는 말한저로 현지기 다 지금 잡아쳐야 그 네버지도 버디 코네 콘도페 애는 지주자배양 좀니 싫어 페인도잖아요 싫어 차서도 연구요 말에 전단데 싫어 연조되게 하래 지당을 한지 미양 삼류 잡아쳐야 돼 직직이 싫어 차와야 게 있냐가 요래 다 사과사에 진로는 제가 돈에 싫어 페인도잖아요 와다 전단데 싫어지 아니 가서다 디샤다 wisdom set 가다 있는 용도야지 다 뒤엔지기 아니 지수자배야 까르볼라 땜베 아니 제나 아니 레코 추버체 엔더 드링기 땡기투가 천지다 레코 스머리
So by receiving this blessing of the body, speech, and mind of Manjushri, what we should be able to gain is this wisdom or intelligence by which we can use to do analysis into the nature of things precisely. And when you have the blessing of Manjushri and you actually use your intelligence to delve into the profound and deeper nature of things, your wisdom or intelligence will not go astray in the wrong direction. Although at because of this blessing of the deity Manjushri himself, this will happen. The more you delve into the nature of things, the better your intelligence will be, and you'll be able to develop wisdom further and further without going astray from the right path. Whereas sometimes when you have some kind of a worldly wisdom, without being blessed, without combined with the blessing of the deities like Manjushri and so forth, your wisdom or intelligence could go astray. But with this blessing, it will not happen. So with this we are done with the blessing of body, speech, and mind of Manjushri, and while His Holiness gives a signature on the books and so forth, let us all recite Om Arabhaja Nadi, the mantra of Manjushri.
Om Arabhaja Nadi, Om Arabhaja Nadi.
Om Arabhaja Nadi, 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 Om Arabhaja Nadi. पढ़ लेते Om Arabhaja Nadi, 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 Om Arabhaja Nadi. Om Arabhaja Nadi, 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 Om Arabhaja Nadi,
Om Arabazanadi, 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 Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om
Om Arabazanadi, 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 Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi,
Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi. Om Arabazanadi. 대다 끊지져서 달로지 개원되다 담저도 두수시베 개원될 지 ng어가나 쳐 다게 싸운데 그냥 상부 쩌저도 ng어지 슈구다는 ng어리 내가 슈구다한테 ng어 잡아보사지
No. And so at the end, His Holiness recited certain dedication verses, which are from the king of prayers, called Samandabhadra prayer.
So now, thank you very much. This time, 2 days as the teaching or explanation now completed. So yesterday, mainly for more question and answer. This morning, with monk's robe and the blessing of Manjushri, and then the basic structure or explanation about the basic structure of Buddha Dharma, I explained. So Vietnamese, I think, what percentage Vietnamese Buddhist? 30, 40%?
The percentage of Buddhist, 1/3.
1/3. Correct, 1/3 is correct. Sumjijik.
No.
Then how many Christian? 15%. And how many Muslim? Oh. Then some Hindus? Oh. So traditionally, Vietnamese also Buddhist. Your traditional religion is Buddha Dharma, isn't it? Like China, historically, Buddhist country, there are a lot of Buddhist temples. And then Vietnamese, wherever the Vietnamese community there as a refugee in America or Australia, and also some European countries, wherever Vietnamese community there, is some Buddhist temple there. So that shows traditionally you are the follower of Buddha Dharma. So then any religion is private business. So some people found the Christianity or these things more suitable, and up to them, their freedom. Then those as the follower of Buddha Dharma, see, we should be, I always telling those Buddhists, we should be 21st century Buddhist. That means we study more seriously and then get the sort of fuller understanding about the Buddha Dharma. So that, that's the meaning of 21st century Buddhist. Traditionally, we just sort of faith. If you ask what's Dharma, no answer, isn't it? So now pay more attention for study. Study is very important. So then, I think then I would like to hear in Vietnamese language the Heart Sutra. Okay. Yes, recite. Nhang, 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 nhang. Recite that.
In Vietnamese, where?
Các anh chị dở sách ra bản Bát Nhã Tâm Kinh ấy.
Có rồi.
Trang bao nhiêu em?
Chapter.
Trang 30 ạ. Cả đoàn mình cùng tụng nhé. Cùng dâng ngài nhé. Con thưa quý thầy là bản này là bản dịch từ tiếng Tạng sang ạ. Đấy không phải là bản Chinese. Thánh Phật mẫu Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa Tâm Kinh, kính lễ chư Phật Bồ Tát. Tôi nghe như vậy, một thời Đức Thế Tôn ở tại núi Linh Thứ, nơi thành Vương Xá cùng với chúng đại tỳ kheo và chúng đại Bồ Tát đồng câu hội. Lúc bấy giờ, Đức Thế Tôn nhập chánh định thâm quang minh tuyên thuyết chánh pháp. Cũng ngay khi ấy, Thánh Quán Tự tại Bồ Tát Ma Ha Tát hành thâm Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa, quán thấy 5 uẩn tự tánh cũng đều là không. Nương nơi oai thần Phật, Tôn giả Xá Lợi Phất thưa hỏi Thánh Quán Tự tại Bồ Tát Ma Ha Tát rằng: có thiện nam tử hoặc thiện huyền thành thâm Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa thì nên tu học như thế nào? Thánh Quán Tự tại Bồ Tát Ma Ha Tát đáp lời Tôn giả Xá Lợi Phất: nếu có thiện nam tử nào muốn hành thâm Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa, nên quán sát chân chánh hành tướng 5 uẩn cũng đều là không. Sắc tức là không, không tức là sắc, sắc chẳng khác không, không chẳng khác sắc. Tương tự tưởng hành thức vân là không. Xá Lợi Phất: tất cả pháp là không, không tướng, không sanh, không diệt, không nhớp, không sạch, không thêm, không bớt. Xá Lợi Phất: cho nên trong không không có sắc, không thọ, không tưởng, không hành, không thức, không mắt, không tai, không mũi, không lưỡi, không thân, không ý, không sắc, không thanh, không hương, không vị, không xúc, không pháp, không có nhãn giới, không có ý giới, cũng cho đến cũng không có ý thức giới, không có vô minh, không có hết vô minh, không có giả chết, cho đến cũng không có hết giả chết. Tương tự không khổ tập diệt đạo, không trí, không đắc, cũng không có không sở đắc. Xá Lợi Phất: vì không sở đắc nên chư Bồ Tát an trú trong Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa, tâm không ngăn ngại, không sợ hãi, xa lìa hẳn điên đảo mộng tưởng, đạt đến cứu cánh niết bàn. Chư Phật trong 3 đời đều nương theo Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa mà được đạo quả vô thượng chánh đẳng chánh giác. Do vậy nên biết Nhã Ba La Mật Đa là đại thần chú, là thần chú cực sáng, thần chú tối thượng, chú bất đồng bực mà đồng bực, thần chú bạt trừ hết thảy khổ não, chân thật không hư dối. Ngài tuyên nói chú Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa rằng: Te Ge Tha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Xá Lợi Phất: vị Bồ Tát Ma Ha Tát nên học thâm Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa như thế. Bấy giờ Đức Thế Tôn xuất định, tán thán thánh quán tự tại Bồ Tát Ma Ha Tát rằng: lành thay, này thiện nam tử, đúng thật như thế, thiện nam tử, đúng thật như thế. Các ông nên hành sâu bát nhã ba la mật đa như lời ông thuyết, khiến chư Phật cũng đều tùy hỷ. Thế Tôn dạy thế xong, Tôn giả Xá Lợi Phất và thánh quán tự tại Bồ Tát Ma Ha Tát cùng tất cả chúng hội thiên, nhân, phi nhân, càn thát bà, vân vân, thầy đều tín thọ, hoan hỷ phụng hành.
Of Heart Sutra, which says Gate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha, actually it teaches or it shows us the path leading to enlightenment. No.
Go beyond red.
Not it. Go perfectly beyond. Yes. So the Gate mantra actually refers to the five-tiered path to enlightenment, which are the path of accumulation, referred by the first Gate, and then the second Gate refers to path of accumulation or application, and the third one, which says Paragate, refers to the path of seeing, and then the fourth path is the path of meditation, which is referred by Parasangate, and then Bodhiswaha refers to that enlightenment. So next we'll have the photo session. Yeah,